the knowledge is not the issue.
Yeah.
It's the making the commitment to myself.
Thinking
I'm going to start on Monday.
Yep.
No, bro, it's Tuesday. Like, how about we start Wednesday?
Right. So, of the hundreds of decisions that you make a day, only a few moments matter towards achieving your goals or moving towards your goals. So that's high agency decision making. And the other thing is the moments that matter.
I actually needed to tell myself to quit early. So I did not finish the workout. I tapped out because my body was not ready to give everything it had.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cheese Curds and Coffee. My name is Alan Thompson, and I am joined by the beautiful, the talented, the wonderful Katie Thompson, my wife. Hello. Hey, star of the show.
Hello.
You laughing at my intro?
Every time.
Well, if this is your first time to Cheese Curds and Coffee, welcome, where we discuss how to build wealth, get healthy, and live a happier life, all through the lens of personal agency and how to make higher agency decisions in the moments that matter. We recently went through a little rebrand on the Instagram account. So this is Cheese Curds and Coffee, a podcast created by Build Your Proof, the new company that we started. So super excited about that. Our goal is to get to 100 subscribers. So help us out.
That's goal one.
Goal one. First goal.
Yeah, okay. I just didn't want people to think once we got to 100, then we were done.
No. So today's episode, did I miss anything else on the intro? Or are we good?
Like, subscribe, follow.
Love it.
And we're no longer at Cheese Curds and Coffee on Instagram. We are at Build Your Proof.
Build Your Proof. I love it. Okay, so today's episode, you know what to do, so why don't you do it? This episode is for the hardworking person who knows they're capable of more, has consumed enough information, and already knows at least one thing they should be doing, but still chooses something else when the moment arrives. And this describes me to a T, or at least it used to. What about you?
Probably used to.
Used to, not anymore.
No. They're high agency thinkers.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So again, the purpose of today's episode, you know what to do, so why don't you do it? I think it's a pretty common thing that we hear, especially in the fact that at the gym. But where does this show up in everyday life? You know what to do, but you don't do it.
Eating well, saving money, how you spend your free time, right? Are you making healthy life choices that are pushing you to longevity? And are we working out consistently, eating well, or are we maybe living a sedentary life and we're drinking too much and or smoking and or partying? I don't know, fill in the blank. So yeah, when we say like, this used to describe me, I used to live sedentary life. I used to be a hefty drinker.
Love that.
Very active social life.
Yes.
And now I get giggly after a quarter of a glass of wine. So here we are.
I think I saw some stat that basically said 92% of New Year's resolutions are never get fulfilled. So only 8% actually get, followed through with. Why is that? I mean, it can't be the knowledge gap. We got internet, we got AI, but it persists. Why do you think that is?
We want to make decisions that fuel whatever immediate desire we have, right? So I'm not thinking about future Katie when I'm making the decision to, I don't know, go to happy hour or 3-for-1 drinks downtown or, going out and eating, skipping the gym, or from a spending perspective, buying all of the shoes. If you've been listening to us for a long time, you know that when Alan and I started dating, I had well over 70 pairs of shoes.
It's a lot of shoes.
So shopping was, a thing that filled the I want this immediate gratification. I want this thing right now. And what my goals in life look like down the road aren't actually something that I was considering or thinking about. I was thinking about the next 5 minutes or the next 5 days instead of the next 5 years or 50 years.
I suffered from similar thoughts. I knew what to do and I just didn't do it. And I was one of those people who didn't live with a lot of intentionality. Like I didn't live with like intentionally. Didn't matter if I had Chinese food every Friday. It didn't matter if I had enough money at the end of the month. I was good. There wasn't this like idea of. I mean, I remember living in DC, making six figures. I had extra cash at the end of the month, and just spent it. Like had no plan for it. No, no interest in figuring it out, and it's just there's just a general lack of it didn't matter was prevailing thought many of the times. Sure, I'd work out, but didn't matter.
Well, yeah, you're young, right? Your metabolism's still good. We're not thinking about what 50-year-old Alan is going to be going through.
Sure. Yeah. You run a gym, so you see this pretty regularly when it comes to nutrition and fitness and health and all those things. Do people come in like do you think the biggest challenge for people is that they just don't have the knowledge to meet their goals or to live healthy or to come regularly, or is it something else that's happening for them?
Well, I think that something else gets in the way. We all generally speaking know that we should have healthy hearts, right? We grow up in schools learning that it's better to, stay healthy and active. We have PE requirements
Right.
through our education. So again, if I'm thinking like the basic knowledge exists, we know we should be active and making sure that our cardiovascular health is, sound. We know that we should be eating right, and we have general awareness of what good foods are. We know that we should not be eating processed foods. We know that we should not be eating fast food all the time. We know that we should be not, gorging ourselves with a ton of sugar and sugary drinks and, cake and cookies and, right, like fruits and vegetables. Eat your meat, eat your, nuts and seeds. Make sure that we're getting enough protein. That is not the issue. I think I don't feel like it starts to come into play, or, well, my friends are going to happy hour, so I want to go to happy hour. Because if I really reflect on where I see these scenarios come up most often in the gym, it's the people that fill out the form for information. Like, we give a free trial, so come take a free class. There is zero pressure. You don't have to pay us. We just need you to show up. And the amount of people who fill out that web form or contact us to ask about the free trial, whether it's via Instagram or a phone call or a text message, and we engage with them, they've taken the step. They know I need to do something to get healthy or be healthier.
Sure.
And only a percentage of them will actually make it to the class.
Small percentage.
Yeah. And then even there, the commitment and the routine to even sign up, right? So they know they should be doing something about their fitness, and most often it's, I had a bad doctor's appointment, or I'm getting older and I know that this is good for me, right? Like the beginning parts of the conversation of like, how did you find us? Why are you looking to come now? Do you have experience in this? What was your what's your sports background, if any?
Right.
The knowledge is not the issue.
Yeah.
It's the making the commitment to myself.
And keeping that promise.
Thinking about future Katie, Alan,
Yep.
Sam, Susie, fill in the blank, whoever the person is that's supposedly coming in. And then the notorious, I'm going to start on Monday.
Yep.
No, bro, it's Tuesday. Like, how about we start Wednesday? Like, it's Tuesday night. We don't need to wait until Monday. Let's start Wednesday. Which time on Wednesday are you available? I would love to see you.
I love that. So I have become obsessed with answering this question on the gap between saying we're going to do something and actually doing it. And so this is what I've learned, and this is the foundation, and I know you've touched on this already about thinking about your future self, but this is the foundation of personal agency and making higher agency decisions. And so I have been studying this gentleman, Albert Bandura, who created this idea of like social cognitive theory. So I'm going to get a little nerdy on you. I'm going to nerd out for a second on this, okay? So there's two ideas that we have to sort of keep in mind when we talk about higher agency decision making. One is that you have to have the knowledge. So let's understand everyone has, like, people have the knowledge. I know I got to eat the apple instead of the cake. I know I have to, burn more calories than I take in if I want to lose weight. I got to spend less than I make, save more than I spend, if I want to build wealth. I got to, have those tough conversations to manage those relationships if I want to have a happy relationship. All those types of things. So we know that. We have the knowledge. The next step is creating the belief. And Albert Bandura described that as self-efficacy. I have the belief that I can impact the outcomes of my life. Third comes agency, that I take action on that belief and action towards the goals I have. And then fourth, when you do that, you create proof or evidence that you're becoming the type of person that does those things. So that's one thing that we got to hold in our heads, right? So knowledge, belief, or self-efficacy, taking action or personal agency, making a high agency decision, and fourth, the proof or the evidence that I'm becoming the person that does this regularly. The other thing that we got to keep in our heads is moments that matter. So I did a quick AI search. How many decisions do adults make in a day?
Oh, I wish we were live right now because I would actually like other people to weigh in on this because I would have been way off.
This number is crazy.
Way off. I thought my number that I was going to throw out was high.
Yeah,
and
this
I'm
number
not
is crazy.
Even close.
Total number of decisions made in a day, 35,000. 35,000 decisions that we make in a day. Roughly one decision every 2 seconds while you're awake. It breaks it down into conscious choices. But there was a study that showed that food choices alone, that we make 226.7 food decisions in a day. Now, most of those 35,000 are subconscious decisions that we don't think about. Our body just goes through the routine of doing it. But 200 to 500 decisions a day are conscious. Now, of that number, only a few impact our goals that we've set for ourselves. So, and I don't know these. I need to talk to these people making 226 food decisions a day. I don't know what that is, but
they don't meal prep. That's what I'm telling you, because when it's already prepped and it's in the fridge, you don't have nearly the amount of choices. Then it's not driving down 192 in between the gym and the house and seeing every fast food restaurant you could ever imagine available to you. That isn't a possible choice.
100%. So of the hundreds of decisions that you make a day, only a few moments matter towards achieving your goals or moving towards your goals. All right, so it's two different thoughts, two different ideas that we got to keep in mind as we kind of walk through this, right? Knowledge leads to belief or self-efficacy, which leads to action or high agency decision. And then when you make that decision in pursuit of your goals, you then create proof that I'm the type of person that does this thing. So this is over here.
You build your proof?
You build your proof. So that's high agency decision making.
See what we did there?
And the other thing is the moments that matter. The few moments throughout the course of the day that actually determine if you're going to move closer towards your goal or further away. Am I going to get up and go to the gym? Or I'm going to sleep in. Am I gonna make the healthy choice, or I'm not? I'm gonna spend the money, stay within budget, or I'm gonna stay within budget. Or I'm gonna spend the money. There's only a few moments a day that impact those. So, do we make high agency decisions in the moments that matter? So, yeah. So we're gonna geek out a little bit more. So what's great about this is that it works on a small scale, like in our personal lives, and it works at the big scale when we think about things that we've come across throughout history, right? So I'll give you an example. I was on a run this morning, and I was reminded of the story about the Wright brothers and their pursuit of mechanical flight, and it was like a jolt to my system that this thread started showing up in all of these famous people successful people that we've ever heard of, the Wright brothers, Phil Knight with Nike, Blue Ribbon Sports, like all these people that I've read about in these business books, the Polstein brothers that are my mentors, like a lot of the successful people that we know. You demonstrate this all the time. Like high agency decision making is like, from my perspective, like the key to success. Like it is like the thing that transcends race and decade and socioeconomic background and all the things. Like the people who are really getting it done and having a good time are making high agency decisions in the moments that matter. And I just think that is like crazy. But like anyway, back to the Wright brothers.
So we are on the same level as the Wright brothers and Phil Knight and all these other business greats that you admire and aspire to be like.
We have the same skills. We have the same skills.
So good. Which means you can too if you are listening to this. Because we are everyday people.
High agency decisioning is a skill set, and we have those skills. Mm-hmm. The only thing limiting us are the stories that we tell ourselves. That's a whole different, I think, conversation we can have. Anyway, so the Wright brothers knew how to make bikes. They didn't know how to make people fly. Right. But they started down this journey. They were underfunded. There were other people that were trying to get this done at the same time. Department of Defense was participating in this race for machine-powered flight. Newspapers of the day, scientists of the day were all about like, this is crazy. This is never going to happen. Nothing in recorded history had suggested that this thing that they were trying to do would actually work. They had the knowledge. They had enough knowledge to get a person moving, and they thought they could make it happen. But then they practiced self-efficacy. They had so much belief in what they were doing that they ignored all the information that was around them. So they had the self-efficacy, they had the belief, and then they put it into action. So they made high agency decisions over and over and over again about, we're going to continue to try this, we're going to try it, we're going to do it again, we're going to try it again. And when they had a crash, they didn't take it as, oh, this is proof that what we're doing won't work. Instead, it's proof that we have to adjust our...
We're closer.
We found one more way that won't work, which will eventually lead us to a way that will work. And it took them over 4 years to figure it out, but they eventually did it. And so it is like one of the most perfect examples of knowledge, self-efficacy, high agency decision-making, and then proof, belief in the thing that we're doing will actually lead to the outcome that we want. So that's at the grandest scale.
Now can we break it down onto the tiniest scale of the everyday person?
Yeah, well, that's...
Because I'm not trying to make people fly.
But I don't know if you're the everyday person. I mean, you're pretty spectacular.
The listeners probably think I'm spectacular, just like you. But let's pretend that some people think I'm everyday.
So
or you.
Let's take an example from this past week, right? Mm-hmm. So we have a fitness competition coming up.
Yes.
You've dedicated your life to living healthier, improving your fitness, doing all these things. You just spent a week out in California. meeting with other really fit people for a week.
Like the fittest of the people,
the
actually.
Fittest on earth.
I was at the CrossFit Games almost 2 weeks ago.
But you came back, so that disrupted your workout routine for sure.
Yep.
And then you came back and you were sick. You had a cold or head cold or something going on.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened this past week? How did you apply this sort of this thought process to what you had going on this past week? Being sick, you can't go in the gym. What do you do? What happened?
Yeah. So again, come back from California, come down with probably one of the worst head colds I've had in a very long time. Like,
I agree with that.
Mucus and snot
All
coming
the
out.
things.
Like, just, yeah, it
All
was,
the
it
things.
was to the point where I didn't want to be at the gym around other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to rest. I needed to get a lot of sleep. So what would have been get home from 5 days away in California, jump right back into training and practice for this upcoming competition, ended up being get home from California and try to stay home as much as I can and get rest and sleep. Now, business still needed to run, so there were things that I needed to be at the gym for, appointments, meetings, very small responsibility from a coaching perspective, but I did not work out. Like I took Tuesday off entirely, Wednesday off entirely. Thursday, I went in and I was feeling better, like had lots of rest, lots of fluids. My nutrition was shifted to like trying to recover. So a ton more vitamins, micronutrients were much, higher, more food. So my body had energy to fight the infection. Lots of hydration. So by Thursday morning, I thought, okay, I'm feeling good. Let me go try and get through an hour-long class. And I wasn't quite ready. So earlier podcasts, we've touched on the fact that like I used, this power to be able to get myself to not talk myself out of quitting early. On the contrary, in this example, I actually needed to tell myself to quit early. So I did not finish the workout. I stopped before it was actually done. I waited with the rest of the class, as they were finishing, but I tapped out because my body was not ready to give everything it had. Took another rest day on Friday, and then Friday I did a little bit of strength training. Saturday took, another day, relaxed. And then today I finally went back in and actually did a full hour-long class and even a little bit of extra accessory work. So going through all of that, I was listening to my body. I was doing what I needed to do to make sure that I was healthy enough, because the last thing I wanted to do was put myself even farther behind, knowing I had almost 2 weeks now of like non-regular training, and we have, a week and a half before the competition. Almost 2 weeks, I guess, before the competition.
Yep.
So it was me understanding I will be doing myself a disservice if I run myself into the ground.
Yep.
And I've also got teammates that are relying upon me. And not for nothing, like I'm not interested in an injury. I train for longevity. I don't train because I think I'm going to get to the podium at the competition. This is a fun local competition. We actually just practiced with our teammates for the first time today. There's 4 of us on the team. We are doing this to get enjoyment out of this and to have some fun with our friends, not because we think that we're going to go, make it to some next level competition and our bank accounts are relying on this. This is not a way of life. It's a lifestyle. So yeah, totally different side of perspective for me, but it was prioritize rest, prioritize recovery, prioritize making sure that you are able to bounce back and that you are at peak health.
Yep.
In 2 weeks.
That's fantastic. And it's such a great example, right? So you have the knowledge, you have the, you need to work out, you want to work out, but you also know that there are times when you have to listen to your body and you have to rest. You have the belief, you have the self-efficacy. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to feed it. I'm going to feed my body. I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink orange juice.
Yeah, lots of orange juice.
Lots of orange
Lots
juice.
of electrolytes. And
a lot
water.
of electrolytes. You're going to do the things you need to do to get healthy. You take those actions. So you have personal agency. You make a high agency decision that I'm going to rest for a few days. And then when you think you're ready, you go back into the gym and you get proof. The results tell you, I'm not quite there yet.
Yep.
You don't take it as
I've lost all of my fitness. Oh my gosh, woe is me.
Right. You
I'm,
don't overreact
I'm done.
to
I have
it.
to tell my teammates I can't compete in 2 weeks.
You're certainly not the type of person, and you control the story. You control the narrative. You control the frame, right? You're not the type of person. You don't suddenly say I'm a failure. I'm the type of person that doesn't show up. I'm the blah 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 blah. All these negative Nancy thoughts, right? Instead, you take a data point. You take it as learning. Say, oh, I need to sit my butt down and get healthier before I get after it again. And then today, feeling pretty good.
Yeah, our session went really well.
Yeah, you came out and showed up.
We weren't
out and showed out.
We weren't planning on practicing with our teammates, but everybody happened to be at the gym at the same time, and we had open gym time. So we thought, all right, well, we've been sitting here talking about strategy for a little while. Maybe we should just run through a couple things. Yeah. So we ran through a couple things.
That was my idea, by the way.
I know. We were going to do far less than your idea.
It was great.
We almost did the entire workout.
Our teammates look great. You look great. It was a fun time. It was a team building. A lot of fun. But I think your example, my Wright brothers example is one. But your example is so... No, but it's so cool because, being... Personal agency and a high agency decision making can be confused with hustle, 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 grind, 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 never stop, never sleep, go out, get after it. But it really is, and you touched on this a couple times because it's part of how we define high personal agency or high agency decision making. Is, are you considering the total cost? Are you considering the future self? Are you considering your goals, which you obviously did, but those other things have a vote. It's not just about the emotion in the moment. Your future self, the total cost, those things have a vote before you to get to decide. And taking the moment to pause and think about that and reflect on that when you had a setback in your recovery is fantastic. You didn't dwell on it. You use it as an opportunity to learn. And yeah, you should be making rocket ships or something instead of.
The rocket ship is not going to get off the ground.
There's a knowledge gap.
There's a knowledge gap for sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, what about you? Because I think you've got a unique story from this week as well.
I do have a unique story, which is
your 5K.
5K story. Yes. The 5K
you want me to tell your 5K story?
No. You're right. It's been a really good week. So the 5K story is a story I think I've told before because it happened before. But basically, today was a retest, or this week was a retest of the 5K. I'm trying to do a sub-25-minute 5K. I know it's not world record pace, but it's world record for me. It would have been the fastest 5K that I've run. I've been training really hard for it. I changed up my training since the last time. I missed it by 2 seconds. So I got everything ready. I put on my fast shoes. I had on my fast outfit. I was ready to go. I got out there, went out way too hot. I think I did like a 7:30 for first mile, 8-minute second mile pace, and the tank was empty. And the third mile just completely blew up. And afterwards, I remember texting you that, I missed my goal, but that was an awfully great training run.
Yes. And that was such a good perspective, which is so the right way to approach that. True. Like there is zero reason to be disappointed.
Right. Well, I was disappointed for a little bit, but not very long.
At the end of the day, I know that it was your goal, but it was an arbitrary number. Like, it wasn't a qualifying number that you needed to get this to then qualify to go to the Boston Marathon, right? Like it. So again, the disappointment really is unwarranted because it was a great training run. And I was really excited that was your reaction.
And that's just an example of how we can reframe something that happens to us, right? A work example might be, well, oh, I just lost a client. And the reality is, oh, you did lose a client, but you also opened up space for a new client, a better
Yeah.
client,
Yes.
right? And just so that's how we think about agency. That's how we use it in our everyday life. It's exciting for Katie and I as we talk about it to like understand what's happening or understand these thoughts that have been going through our head or understanding the way we've lived is not some random like there's actually like language to describe how we're doing this and how we think through it. And I just think that's really cool. I'm nerding out again on it.
That's what you do.
That's what I do. I love it. Yeah. So the 5K was just another example of I had the knowledge,
Had the belief.
had the belief.
Oh man, we were so ready.
I
Like
know.
the
Everyone
night
was
bef-
asking me about
the
it.
night before, I was like, "There's no way. Like you're gonna smash this tomorrow. Like it's gonna be cake.
Cake. Too much cake.
Too
on the
much
first
cake."
mile. Too much cake on the first mile. Probably too much. A little bit. The right amount of cake on the second mile, and I had no cake left on the third. It was done.
Well, now you know for next time.
Yes.
Teaching point.
Yes. Negative splits is my new plan. So. All right. So, I mean, we've talked about it. The gap between knowledge and action. I think we've talked about it quite a bit here. But the takeaway that I think that's important for everyone that's listening is that in order to close that gap, we believe that you have to build proof. And you build proof by thinking through what we talked about today. You have the knowledge, then you have the belief, you create the belief, and then you take the action. And when you take that action, how are you framing what happens afterwards, right? Is it proof that you're a terrible runner? Is it proof that you're inconsistent in the gym when it comes to your fitness? Or is it proof that the opposite things are true? That you're a good runner, but you just had a great training day and you got to figure out a better plan for next time. Or you're committed to your fitness, but when you're sick, you got to take a day off or 2 days off until you're back healthy and ready to go. And so when we started, and I know you talked about what old Katie used to be like, and I talked about what old Alan used to be like. When we started thinking about things through this lens, life really started to change. And it was interesting because we didn't have the language back then to describe, at least I didn't have the language back then to describe what was happening to us. But it's really cool to kind of sit here and think about it now and say, oh yeah, you're demonstrating high agency decision making in those moments that matter. And we reduce the number of moments that we had to deal with, back to the food prep thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of decisions that need to be made in a day.
a lot.
Apparently way more than I thought.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And whatever we can do to create the habits and have the routine that allows you to not have to think. Like decision fatigue is so real that you can put yourself in a position to be able to automate those types of things. And then that's when life gets happier. That's when our finances started giving us the freedom to make different decisions because we weren't feeling pressure financially to like, well, I don't even know if I can afford this. Like now the question is, well, we can afford it, but do we want it or do we need it?
Yeah.
Is it a nice to have or a need to have?
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I just want to touch on that for a second. Like thinking through this and working through this is a practice. It's a skill set that you have to practice over and over again. High agency decision making. It can sound like daunting. Like I got hundreds of decisions every day I need to make, and you want me to go through this whole like jump through all
4-step
these
process before I make my decision.
Jump through these. But what's really interesting, and I think the analogy that I think makes the most sense to me is it's like learning how to drive. When you first learn how to drive, it is high focus, high intention. At least for me, it was like both hands on the steering wheel, like, and it was everything needed to be focused and centered on driving. And that's what high agency decision making is when you first start, because it's new and it's strange and it challenges like pre-existing stories that we have about things. But eventually, as you learn how to drive, as you figure out how to merge into traffic, as you realize you won't get killed on the highway just because people are going 60 miles an hour or whatever, that you can navigate those situations, and the more comfortable you get, you get to a point where driving becomes almost subconscious, almost to the point where you don't even think about it. You have the ability to do other things. It's so automatic now that you can listen to music, and you can, based on me running around the streets of Orlando, you can apparently be on your phone while you're driving and eating while you're driving. But driving becomes so routine and so habitual that it's just the way you drive and the way you live, and you don't even think about it. And high agency decision making can be the same thing for you, because it's become that for us. We went from, we're talking about our finances, we went from $5 conversations about we can't spend money on this, we're not going to buy Starbucks, we got to cut back on the Starbucks this week. We're food prepping, and those $5 conversations eventually turned into $100 conversations as we had more margin at the end of the month. And then what are we going to do with these $100 conversations? And then $100 conversations turned into $1,000 conversations. Like, what are we going to do with this $1,000 at the end of the month? And yeah, they just became like you build enough proof over time, you start saying to yourself, I am becoming the type of person that has enough margin at the end of the month. I'm becoming the type of person that food preps. I'm becoming the type of person that builds wealth. I'm becoming the type of person that exercises regularly. I'm becoming the type of person that lives a healthy lifestyle. One small moment that matters at a time. And it's tricky because we don't ever talk about it in those terms, right? Like moments that matter, the small ones.
Yeah, that it all starts with the little ones, and that compounds, which then allows it to be big later on.
Right.
I love the financial analogy because it is very tangible, but I mean, the same could be said about your fitness journey. At least, when I look back on where I started, I was well over 200 pounds, and I like chipped away at things between working out and eating, a correct diet to fuel my body. It was a couple pounds at a time. Sometimes it wasn't the pounds that were changing, it was the body composition that was changing. Yep. And so like I was losing inches, but the scale wasn't changing. So, it's identifying that you need to be able to begin with some of these little things, but the little things that matter.
Little things that matter.
It doesn't matter if you wear the green shirt or the blue shirt or the, pink dress or the whatever.
Right.
But like, did we spend the money appropriately? Did we, what are the goals?
Yep.
And if you don't know where you're going, hard to get the belief behind this is what I'm going to be in the future.
This is true. What do you think this information will solve all of our problems comes from?
Well, I mean, media inundates us with data.
Sure.
And social media made that even more readily available. We get microdoses of content all the time. So we have more information, and then we, as consumers of this information, presume that I will figure it out when I have more content.
Yeah.
Right? Like I will be better at eating well when I know more about, I don't know, the macronutrient breakdown. Like
this diet versus that diet.
Really? Like
this diet versus that
we don't
diet.
have enough information today to be able to make those decisions. Like, yes, you do.
Like, don't eat bananas.
Like literally, yes, you do.
Yeah.
100%. Unless you're living under a rock in today's society,
And I'm not trying to say information is never useful. Like, you can't go build rocket ships because you don't have the knowledge today. And I can't either. I can't build rocket ships either. So we got to go get the knowledge. And I think, the Wright brothers didn't know how to build machine-powered flight machines either. They had to go, but they had some sense of like how to build a machine that would propel a person that they believe could eventually fly.
Well, and the same can be true about your fitness and health and well-being, right? Like if you are in a place where you don't feel like you have enough information, your next decision is probably to go seek the information. Hire a nutrition coach if you are struggling with your nutrition.
But there is a balance between, you've listened to or read 100 business books on how to start a small business, and you haven't started one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just me turning that mirror back on me because I've read a lot of small business books or how to start a small business.
Funny, I'm a nutrition coach now, but sure wasn't a long time ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
I hired one.
Oh, man.
It was great.
All right, so I think we had this last section. We want to talk about practice for the listeners. If you listen this far, thank you for hanging around and nerding out with us, or nerding out with me, and getting a little sense of what Katie's life is like living with me.
It's wonderful. If you didn't get that sense, it's wonderful all the time.
Oh, man. Okay, so we have a practice for you. So choose one area where you know what to do but are not doing it consistently. Do not try and fix your whole life this week. Find one recurring moment that matters. So I'm a big fan of journaling. This is Katie's version of journaling, these videos.
Anything with a camera. Sounds great.
So the simplest thing to do is to open up a Google Doc, put the day's date on it that you start tracking. It's probably Monday, whatever day you pick, and just say...
Well, we drop podcasts on Thursdays. So if you're listening today, it's Thursday, which means you should start on Thursday.
Whatever day you happen to listen to this podcast or watch us on YouTube, open up a Google Doc. Choose one area where you want to do, you want to do, but you're not doing it consistently. So we keep it simple in our house. We're improving our health, we're improving our wealth, and we're improving our happiness. And those are the three areas that we focus on. So pick one of those areas or pick one of your own, whichever you want. And you've set a plan that you want to do something consistently. You're not doing it. And you want to write down in that Google Doc or type up in that Google Doc when the moment arrives. And there's only a few moments that matter. What happens? What choice do you make? Why did you make it? Why did you pick the decision that you picked? Good or bad? In the direction of your goals or not in the direction of your goals? What were you thinking and why? And just sit with that. Sit with that. What is it that happened for you in that moment? Why did you make the decision that you did? And when you start to understand the whys behind you making those decisions, you can start to control the frame and understand like the proof that's being created. And I'm generating evidence that I am becoming that type of person that consistently does this, or I'm becoming the type of person that doesn't consistently do this. If you are lucky enough to capture a moment where you choose not to do something that you want to do, that you've committed to doing, that'll be a real unlock for you. That'll be an opportunity to say, hey, this story or this emotion won out over the conscious choice I made, and ask yourself why that happened. What story came up for you? What was the emotion that you were feeling at the time? You might be surprised by what you find. All right. Katie, you want to take us away? Let them know where they can find us, follow us.
Yes. So again, we are no longer at Cheese Curds and Coffee on Instagram. We are at Build Your Proof. And obviously, if you're watching us, you found our YouTube channel, which is still Cheese Curds and Coffee. So drop us or click the subscribe button. Go ahead and click the bell so you can get notified when we have new content that posts. And we've got Substack articles that come through each week. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere that you get your podcasts. You can search for us there, that's under Cheese Curds and Coffee. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Please continue to share these episodes with people that you think they resonate with. Drop us some comments, engage with us so that we know what we're doing well, what you'd like to hear more from, and we'll see you next week.